Kings finally get a win on this 5-game homestand, taking care of the Orlando Magic tonight. 136-111 on a night where they make franchise history, hitting a record 23 three balls. Delhi with the clincher late, and the Kings get a much-needed victory on the home floor. They improved to 21-18 on the season, now with a game-and-a-half lead in the Pacific Division. A lot to go over. We'll go over the highs and lows of this one. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Mo?
Just fantastic.
Just fantastic.
Just fantastic. Just I needed this win today, so it felt really good to see the beam lit, people happy. We're talking about what a good team is supposed to do if you want to be identified as a good team.
I love that song.
Thank you.
How's it go after that?
If you want to be a good team, you
gotta win a lot of games, including home ones.
Good job.
Did I do good?
I was just going to copy whatever you said.
I was trying to go with you.
Oh, well, you took over, so then I couldn't even keep going. If you want to be a good team, you got to be a good teammate first.
Unlike Morgan, who fucking sucks. I didn't really say it.
Whoa.
So the Kings got the win. I did not think the show was going to be starting this way, but we are recording this late on a Monday night, just after 11 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. What you just said is so accurate. What you just saying is so accurate. Look, you're not going to win by a billion points every night, but when you take on the bad teams on your home floor, this is what you're supposed to do, right?
Correct.
You're supposed to have games at the end where maybe Delhi's hitting threes at the end,
yeah.
right? That guys who maybe don't get to play a lot are getting some minutes. And I was very curious what kind of Kings team we were going to see tonight. After last game, it was pretty frustrating because this Kings team had lost 2 games on the home floor against 2 teams below 500.
Mm-hmm.
The points in the paint thing continues to be a huge story, not only for this stretch, but it's gotten worse. And then for the season, and then you break it down where they're 3-5 in their last 8 home games. You're going, these could be missed opportunities. When you look at the end of the season, if you lose games like this, it could really hurt you. So tonight was so necessary. And this is an Orlando team that had been playing much better basketball as of late. 10-5 over the last 15 games.
Yep.
Banchero's back. He's an absolute stud. I like the response from Sacramento in this game, and obviously it helps when you make a shit ton of shots.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that we already know it. You're not going to make all your shots every single night, but you damn well better make them when you're playing against a team that isn't contesting all of your shots from the outside, that is trying to throw a zone at you when you are a good shooting team most nights out of, for the most part, you are a good shooting team and everything. So it was nice to see them capitalize on that. But I think my favorite part is the word you use, the response. That's what we've seen from this King squad, is the way that they are down to respond after losses, after bad basketball being played. It was frustrating when you saw, what was it? Lakers, Hawks, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So it was Lakers, Hawks, those lost. So you wanted to see the response after the Hawks game. You still didn't feel it in that Lakers game. Really lost there at the end, right? One of those frustrating losses. So the response from that to really clobber a team like the Orlando Magic on your home floor was exactly what we all needed to see tonight from this squad.
Yeah, I was a little nervous even after the first quarter because the Kings they shot red hot, and you're like, is this going to be one of those nights where you need to score a ton of points just to have a chance to win? They put up 41 points in that first quarter. They knocked down 7 threes. The ball's moving great. They shoot just under 71%. But I got to be honest, at the end of that quarter, I was looking at one thing, and that was the fact that Orlando had 18 points in the paint on 9 of 12.
Barf.
And you're going, you may be able to escape this way playing against Orlando, but long term, this is not going to be good. And to the Kings' credit, at the end of the game, that number was much better. It ends up being 42 points in the paint. It's pretty significant. The last time they played Orlando, the Magic had 78 points in the paint. Obviously, a little different. No bull in this game, but still.
They had to win on a game-winning shot from De'Aaron Fox.
Recently, it's been whoever the Kings play, go ahead and chalk up 58 to 65 points in the paint.
They know
and
where
for
to
this
attack.
number tonight to be at 42 was definitely encouraging, and it was definitely encouraging for Mike Brown after the game, who talked about it, I think.
Oh, did he?
Get to the nearest food mart or something like that, and I mean, I'm going to try to win that mega billion or whatever. I'm a 42, 42, 42, 42, 42. I'm going to put 42s across the board. That's it. I'm excited about 42 right now, so I got to go put something on that for that mega billion that's out there. Any questions? Huh?
You want to elaborate on points in the paint?
Is that? Oh, yes. That's it. 42. That's all I. Usually I go in this long freaking soliloquy, but no, it's about 42, baby. 42. Isn't Babe Ruth 42? Jackie Robinson? Okay. Jackie Robinson. I knew someone. Hey, all I know is points in the paint. 42. 42. You guys got to hurry up.
He loved that. He loved that. He loved that whole line. I don't think it got the reaction he wanted initially because people are like, why does he keep saying 42, 42, 42? And it's like, it's points in the paint, media, wake up.
He's like, how is everyone not as excited as me about this? And I think once they got the point, they understood the angle of the game and the point of emphasis on the game. And it was points in the paint. How do you respond even from the last time that you played this team? Kings did a much better job, better game plan.
If Mike Brown did that and literally went 42, 42, 42 and won, do you think he would keep being the Kings head coach, or would he?
Yes. When basketball's in your blood, you're not stopping. Oh, 100%.
Well, one, I'd be like, this thing is rigged. 42. The guy picked 42.
It's the meaning to life.
I don't. What is that? What movie is that?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Never heard of it.
Oh, come on.
I've never seen it.
You've never even read the book?
No.
Oh.
No, I haven't. I've heard like 42, and then I think you've explained this to me before, and I still don't get it. 42 is the meaning of life.
It's thank you for other people understanding. Anyway. I'm getting
guess
some
what?
notes.
There's a lot of people who don't. There's a lot of people who don't.
Oh, that's great. Shut up.
Wizard talking about TikTok. You're right. If it's not on TikTok, I don't know about it.
That's
how I get everything.
You could
now.
probably find it on TikTok.
Honestly, you can.
Anyway, Mike Brown should go and put 42 down on all of his numbers.
No, just super encouraging. I felt like, especially if the Kings are going to have any type of playoff hopes, you have to clean it up. And Orlando's not a great team. They're not a good offensive team. You know this, but I also know that this team has size and length that it worries you a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I was concerned about it going into this game. I thought the Kings' rotations were just better. I thought they just looked like they were communicating better. And some of it, people want to break it down so much. It's like, this guy's a mess. It's like, no, they can do it better. They may not be elite, but they could be better than what they've been.
Well, what was fun about going back and actually watching the game, most of the game, and seeing the parts where, okay, I want to know what the Kings did so well on the defensive end to actually stop this team from scoring in the paint. At times I felt like Orlando did start to settle, but I think because they were having a difficult time getting into the paint. Guys were on strings. When Chimezie Metu came in, I know we'll talk about individuals, but when Metu came in, he brought a different type of intensity even on that end of the floor. You saw Davion Mitchell, the pressure he was putting on. I mean,
that rip away he on Big Hero,
yeah,
and then Keegan hits the three.
Beautiful, right? There was
Hero's driving and David, give me that.
Just like that. Yep, that's
give me that.
His face and everything. Good. So those defensive moments, though, you felt the Kings working on a string and as a team. And I just thought it was so effective the way that they understood from a mental standpoint. Oh, yeah, this is our point of emphasis, and this is what we're going to do really well. Now, Orlando still had some of their line drives. I mean, you had Markelle Fultz and Suggs, get to the hoop, but they're good players. Like, that's going to happen at times.
I thought the other thing the Kings did well was respond. In that second quarter, Orlando goes into his zone. And this is something that I just hope that, hey, let's rehash some stuff at practice tomorrow. And I'm sure Mike Brown will. You know, you listen to Kevin Herter on Zach Lowe's podcast, and he's like, no, when we practice, we practice. He says, our shoot-arounds are like 90 minutes. Brown is super detailed. So I imagine they'll go over the zone stuff. But when Orlando goes into the zone, it completely threw off the Kings.
It does that to a lot of teams, but yes.
It's fine if it throws you off for a
but
possession.
Figure it out.
But it's
right.
got, and there was a few-minute stretch where the Kings just were not executing at all. And what changed was the fact that they'd get a stop and push the pace,
Yes.
and then Orlando couldn't get set. Orlando got back into this game because of that zone defense.
Yeah, and I think obviously being able to push the pace and not allow them to set up on the defensive end did help, but also hitting those outside shots helped, right? Because a lot of times that zone will keep guys out along the perimeter and you just pass the ball around the horn, and then that's what you usually want, a team to settle on those outside shots. Kings were hitting those outside shots, but then when they wanted to get things going again, you saw guys making more decisive plays on the offensive end. Instead of trying to break the zone with too many dribbles, they started moving the ball around. Bodies started flowing around a little bit more.
Attack the gaps.
It was all of the, it was like they started understanding at a higher level just simplifying the game and what they needed to do to break that zone. And when they did, Orlando had to go back to that man defense, and that's when, again, the Kings were able to dominate, whether it was pass the ball to Sabonis down low or just work everyone in the two-man game and move the ball quick with the pass.
It was 50-44 Sacramento at the 5-minute mark, so that zone was pretty effective. Then what I really thought the game swung was they were still in the zone. It was 53-45 Sacramento. HB comes back in transition and hits a quick three. Harrison Barnes.
What was he tonight? I mean, are they going to drug test him now tomorrow too?
Oh, you 100% drug test Harrison Barnes after a night like tonight. HB had 30 points. He missed 2 shots, 11 for 13. One of them, actually, I thought he got fouled, no call. He was 6 of 7 from 3, and he was 2 of 3 at the free throw line. He got great looks, and he knocked him down, and that's... I've been a little surprised at his ineffectiveness from 3 overall this season, especially early. It was good to see him knock some down tonight.
He was shooting with so much confidence, but you say he got some good looks. It was his shot selection too, right? Like he looked to score, where I think sometimes he will look to force to score, and this is all players, so it's not just a knock on HB and his style of play. There's sometimes guys will like force something to score, or they will be passive and make sure to move the ball around more. Harrison Barnes was feeling it, and you could tell he was feeling it. So when he saw an open shot and he understood his confidence and his ability to make a shot tonight, he was taking it. I just thought he did a fantastic job really leading the team with that type of tone too.
Yeah, and it felt like Orlando was so worried about the paint. And this is what Brown wants out of his team. He wants paint touches that leads to spray threes. They always talk spray threes. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of those in this game. I felt like when the Kings missed threes tonight, it felt like there was no passing. It was like a guy that was just going to... A quick three off no ball movement.
De'Aaron Fox with his...
Yeah, De'Aaron did that a couple times tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, Harrison was outstanding. He leads the team in scoring with 30. And it's kind of crazy to think about all the players who have scored 30 or more for the Kings, which I feel like is pretty rare, right? Sabonis hasn't hurt her.
I don't remember
Fox,
these numbers. You remember all these?
Terrence
I
Davis.
have to have a graphic in front of my
Barnes.
face and be like, here is your list. Good job.
Someone in the chat help me out.
Yeah, or
I appreciate
Will
that.
Z Stats usually on Twitter has.
Yeah,
something
I did
like
not
that.
appreciate some of the numbers being thrown out there. Like Stephen Brown, 42 is the age where Deuce's hair will completely fall out.
So stupid.
Rory says that HB will probably test positive for multivitamins.
Great bit.
That's actually pretty good.
You guys are funny. 8 players in double figures tonight, though.
Oh, yeah. No, that was great. And that leads to the poll question. Appreciate you guys being here. Make sure if you're here, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. The poll question was, who was your dog of the game? It's been a minute since we've done that. I missed the dog of the game.
I love it.
The dog of the game options tonight. Harrison Barnes, Chimeze Metu, Malik Monk, or Trey Lyles. Those You know what I'm happy about? I'm happy that I could put those 4 down as
That's
dog of the game candidates.
Even though Sabonis had like his 17th consecutive double-double of the night. And
Sabonis and Fox
No,
were not great tonight
I
either.
know.
That's what's crazy. And that's another thing I liked about tonight's win is, all right, those 2 weren't great. Who's going to step up? The bench has been kind of disappointing lately. And the bench was big for Sacramento. Morgan, it's not every night you're going to get that type of contribution from the bench where they give you 50-plus points. But when you've got 3 guys in double figures, that was huge.
yeah, I was joking when I was saying add them as dog of the game because these guys definitely came in and deserved it. I would give it to Harrison Barnes, but I think the other guy that was right there because he has not played and showed up ready to go was Chimeze Metu. You saw the impact that he made right away when he came into the game, not only with his rebounding ability, but the way that he would be in that dunker spot. And then De'Aaron Fox would dish it to him. Malik Monk would dish it to him. His guys would find him because he put himself in the right places. He was disciplined, knowing where he needed to be on that floor tonight.
He came in around the minute 30 mark of that first quarter.
Yeah.
And they decided to go with him instead of Holmes. You know, this revolving door trying to figure out, all right, who's going to play backup 5? Is it going to be Len? Is it going to be Holmes? Trey Lyles sometimes.
Yeah.
Metu got a nice run for a minute. And then he sits for a long time. I'm with you. I mean, he's my dog of the game too because of what he provided. He played exactly how he played when he was playing well for Sacramento during the stretch. And where I'm giving him a ton of credit is, dude, stay ready. How many times are we going to say that with this team this year where, like, rotations may change. You may be out of it for a minute, but be ready because your number's probably going to be called if you're engaged and ready to go. A couple of notes. Chimeze Metu's first game, his first action since January 1st against the Grizzlies where he played like a minute. That doesn't count. We don't count that, right?
No.
Throw that away. First time with double-digit minutes since December 13th. It's the most minutes he's played since December 3rd. He ends up tonight playing off the bench 14 minutes. He gave Sacramento 11 points. My favorite thing, though, the 9 rebounds. The guy went up and got boards tonight. He was in the dunker spot. He was in control. He was setting good screens. He played in control. That's exactly what you want from Chimeze Metu.
Yeah, his 9 rebounds. I think he ended up getting Defensive Player of the Game chain, the DPOG chain from the team. And I think at times it wasn't necessarily like he was being this dominant defender, but when you look at the rebounds.
He moved well. He rebounded.
I mean, rebounding alone, you're finishing off the defensive possession, right? And then you talk about moving well. He moved disciplined. He moved on that string with the team. There's been so many times where we see him close out wrong or not be able, or he angles a guard, gives them the angle instead of staying, body to body squared up. And tonight he just seemed like he understood he had to play at an efficient level out there and do everything right. And he did a lot right tonight.
Should have had more points because he missed that one lob Fox threw him.
Oh, that was tough.
But I did love the and one where he kind of did the
the shoulder roll.
When Herter had that pick, got on the ball.
Oh my God.
That was pretty sweet. Steven in the chat says, this bench is so dynamic. Someone could sit for 6 games but get thrown in during the 7th and drop 20 because of a good matchup. Yeah. And like I think that's been one of the more interesting things about this year is like there's been certain guys who don't play, then they come in and it's like, oh, they're going to come in and give you 15 points. Like, he almost had a double-double tonight. It was a tremendous game for him. And then having Malik Monk back was big. He missed last game with the injury. So, tonight, you got 2 guys who did not play in the last game come up and combine for 25 points or whatever it was. How many points did Monk have?
Monk finished with.
Oh, he had 14, so they combined for 28 points.
Yeah. And then on top of that, though, you just look at the bench too, and there were threes made from the bench, right? And those threes are just such big clutch moments, right? Not only are you getting them to produce on the defensive end, or Chimeze Metu getting those rebounds, Malik Monk obviously finding the open man, finishing with 6 assists tonight. But then you look at those 3-pointers made, Trey Lyles, those are such daggers. They just keep momentum going. And it's like, throw a zone at us, push us along the perimeter. We're still going to hit these outside shots, even if it is our second unit. You had 2 for Monk, 3 for Lyles. It was just a great night. Oh, and you even had that corner one from KZ Okpala.
KZ hit a 3 tonight. He
Yeah.
had one that was really short, and then he hit that other corner one from De'Aaron Fox, who didn't have the best game, but we'll go to him in a second. One other thing I want to mention about the threes, our guy Jason Ross had this, and I thought it was an interesting stat. You had 4 players, Barnes, Herter, Lyles, and Keegan Murray, combined for 18 of 26 from three-point land tonight. Keegan was really good too. And it was also him moving well defensively. Keegan finished with 15 points. He had 3 assists, 3 rebounds on 5 of 7 shooting, 5 of 6 from 3. The one play of the night that irritated me.
Oh, I know which one because we were watching it together. The soft dunk.
The soft dunk that Fultz came back, chase down block. And
Great block by Fultz.
great. Shouldn't happen.
No.
Come
on, Keegs.
Go up with authority and dunk that shit. Just dunk it.
Just like throw
Come on.
that shit
I want
down.
you.
Get angry.
You had the lane. Like,
Yeah.
I want you. Give me a nasty
and
jam.
we've seen like he's capable of it. It's not like, oh, I wish Keegan was like stronger. No, he's capable. He just needs to like feel it in that
What it
moment.
reminded me of PWG is this independent wrestling
Oh.
show, and I saw a clip today of something they did. I guess they did it yesterday in their show, their big show.
Yeah.
Jericho Appreciation Society showed up there too. But in the match, in one match they did, like they did this in 2014. There was a part where they go slow motion the whole time, like they like,
Oh, and it's like they're
and the fans participate in their slow
and they're
motion.
like, yeah.
I felt like Keegan Murray in that play went slow motion with it. Don't go slow motion. Dunk it.
Dunk it. He was going up with it like I know someone's trailing me.
More, I thought I hit slow on the. I
Okay.
hit like the slow mode.
We get. Do you have
Slow
any
down
more slow mo
5 times
jokes?
on YouTube.
Proceed before I break it down.
Okay.
Any more? Any more?
He had a great game. I liked what he saw, and I thought he moved well defensively. We talk about the points in the paint thing. I think that's the other thing about tonight's game. They just stayed in front of their guy better, right?
Yeah.
They just stayed in front of their man better tonight.
Just to finish up on that Keegan dunk that I wanted to say though, because it was like he felt someone trailing him, but still thought he had it. Where it's like that little bit more of that nasty needs to come through. You've seen it come through a lot more with De'Aaron Fox this season, the way that he wants to throw it down. He's dunked more this season than he did all of last season. So yeah, it's just the little things, but love the way that he was shooting from the outside too.
Here's a great stat from Brett Usher. Keegan Murray shot 5 of 6 from 3 Monday night. The 22-year-old is now shooting 41% on 5.7 three-point attempts a game. He's on pace to become the first rookie in NBA history to shoot 40+% on 5.5+ three-point attempts a game for a season.
Wow. Considering where his minutes have been also throughout the season and the slumps and everything that have been gone on for him.
He's gotten out of the slump. And the other thing with Keegan is he's not jacking up 30 shots a game.
That's it.
Mr. Efficiency. I think if anything, my complaint with the Kings sometimes, like, can we get this guy some more looks? Can we get him some more shots? Because I feel like he's much more of a threat. And there are things on his game that you want to get better, as we highlighted with that chance for a dunk. And he will. I just think the other thing that was interesting with G-Man, he was interviewed with G-Man after the game, post-game, and G-Man asked him about his hand and how he's feeling. He's like, I'm feeling great. He goes, 2 more weeks and I get the splint off. That's something that I don't think we've really heard.
No.
Where he talked about the timing. So he's got the same kind of splint that Sabonis has, which leads many people to go, they have the same injury that they're playing through. Who knows the severity compared to Sabonis's? Whatever. The reality is they're both in that kind of same splint. And he told G-Man tonight he gets that off in a couple of weeks.